Hello everyone, and welcome back to Quirk Audio. It's been a minute since I've made a video, of course. It's because, well, we've been moving and trying to get settled, and, well, we're still far from being 100% settled yet, as you can probably hear a little bit from the still lively nature of my listening room, or living room here. Well, we're getting there. So, this is the new location, or at least my new location, my new home. I'm working on an actual different physical location for the business, for the actual repair, modification, and upcoming production side of things, but I'll keep you updated on that as things become more concrete and I get more things set up. But today I wanted to talk a little bit about one of the reasons why I moved to this area. And that specific reason is just the artistic expression and colorfulness of this city and, well, surrounding cities. Miami is a very large area, and a lot of people just refer to Miami as the county. Miami-Dade is actually consisted of quite a few cities, and they're just so close together that a lot of people who come here and tourists of that nature, everyone just calls it Miami, even though there's Miami Beach, there's actual downtown Miami, there's Wynwood, there's Hialeah. There's all kinds of different communities and everything, so sometimes it's just simpler to say Miami. But getting off on a tangent, all of these areas, and Miami-Dade in particular, is just more culturally diverse and colorful in comparison to the Midwest, where I was based and where I spent most of my life so far. For those of you who have lived in the Midwest like I have, I'm sure that you've seen over the years just colors kind of get drabbed out. I don't know how many shopping centers and things of that nature that I've seen painted the same color brown, and just maybe they had a good deal on that paint or whatever, but it was god awful. But besides that, you just see more color everywhere here. It can be from the condos, the different colors, or the actual artistic expression of the artists and the people who live here. It's quite common to see artwork everywhere, whether it be done by the city, that's something as simple as how they've paved the walking areas and the natural park areas, or you'll actually see a lot of murals and expressionism. Even on the parking garages in downtown Miami, it's easy and common to see that a lot of them have been painted in different ways, different colors, abstract art, contemporary art. There's all kinds of just little things that you notice through a day-to-day time. I've even seen people go as far as painting vans. I've never seen a white van actually painted to be a mural before, but I did the other day. I haven't really had time to take photos or do things like that. I was just out and about shopping, but that's just the point I'm trying to make. People are more open-minded to those kinds of things, and I think it's because people are just more happy here and people are more active. So an area that is so expressive and appreciative and open-minded about art, and not to mention the nice, beautiful, natural Florida sunlight, makes it a perfect area to showcase work from Angela-Gilbert Young, specifically the Funky series. And today, we are going to talk about HeeTarChee. So, what exactly is a funky amplifier? Well, the Funky series begins its life as something else, usually a piece of audio equipment that is, well, it's either become obsolete, no longer repairable, or just heading to the landfill for some other reason because, well, maybe somebody bought the newest and best thing and what was there before is no longer desired. So instead of just being a waste and going to the landfill to disintegrate over however long it takes, Angela-Gilbert Young actually takes these chassis and builds them into something that blends the line between high-end audio and art. practical art, because it's something that, of course, you can look at and admire on a day-to-day basis, but it also gives another purpose, and that is sound, music. And that in itself, music portrays emotion, and that's something that you see on the outside of this component as well, where a lot of things nowadays you'll just see the same drab colors. You'll see, well, sometimes you'll have some nice brushed aluminum or something, but how many brands have done the same thing? Or you'll see just a typical black chassis because it's cheap and because it looks good and matches with everything else. Sometimes you don't want to match. Sometimes you want that pop of color. You want something that's actually a conversation piece or something that you can admire for months. I know there's been a lot of audio components that I've had come through here, and aesthetically they usually aren't very diverse in that way. You can look at it and well, within a day or two you could probably close your eyes and draw it on paper what it looks like and probably come pretty close to it. Where something like this, I've actually spent about a year looking at, and I still feel that I've not seen everything on here. And that's just something else fun about the Funky series. But, as I said, it is practical art, and it's also high-end audio. This is a Funky Level 1, which means it's a lower wattage unit, this one being around 28 watts per channel. But one of the other reasons that the Funky line exists is because, well, of course, it makes Angela-Gilbert happy building things like this. The actual internals, as I noted, it's a high-end audio piece, and they are based off of some of the production models, or vice versa. Some of those production models that you see, or some of the production models that people love and have in their homes, actually started as something like this. It just starts with an idea, and things like this serve as a better test bed because it's just a wide open space to play with. And that's kind of how a lot of things that Angela-Gilbert Young comes up with. It just begins as a funky, fun project that then becomes a viable option that can go into other models. So this, the Funky Level 1, is actually very similar to the i800 integrated amplifier that is a production model. So if Funky isn't your thing and you just want something that's a little bit more mainstream, or not something that's going to make such a statement in your room, that's something that you can go along with. But if you want something that's a little bit more affordable and you have a one-of-a-kind art piece that becomes a conversation piece, or something that you can actually love and appreciate for years, Funky is going to be the line for you. And we're going to be talking here soon with Angela-Gilbert Young about where Funky is going to start blending a bit more into the production side of things. And I'm looking forward to sharing that with you coming soon. But for now, I'm going to share some more photos of HeeTarChee that I've taken outside in the beautiful Florida sunlight. And one of the reasons why I'm doing this video is because, well, this is also a homage and goodbye to this unit. This is the very first Funky that I ever saw, the first one that I was able to listen to, and, well, art makes you think. That's... Angela-Gilbert and I have had a lot of conversations, but that is a very short, surmised statement that I could say about art. True art makes you think. There are things that make you think in the art world that makes you just reconsider what you originally had believed when it came to anything. And in this specific case, it's high-end audio. How much do we base off of looks? Do you buy because of the true circuits inside and what it can actually do performance-wise, because you listen to it and that's truly, you know, what's best for your system, or because it looks good and it matches everything else? Funky truly makes a statement and stands out. It's something that, I mean, if you want something aesthetic and something that you want to stare at, this is something that's going to make you think and actually give you a lot to stare at and a lot to process compared to just something that is typical or something that is considered to be aesthetically pleasing, that is just typical crisp lines or base paint that's just a mass-produced item. Every Funky is a one-of-a-kind that's not going to be reproduced, so it just gives you something else to appreciate. So, as you can see here, every side has been customized, and going off of what I said earlier, here is your upgrade for FCF. Funky also has those types of plug-and-play upgrades with the capacitor packs and things of that nature. Just depends on what's actually inside and which model it is. So even though it is a little bit more affordable, you still have that upgrade path. You still have that untouchable quality when it comes to the actual design of the unit, the point-to-point or component-to-component soldering throughout, and of course the huge and well thought out power supplies that are common across all of Angela-Gilbert Young's components. So that's all I have for today. I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, say my goodbyes to HeeTarChee, maybe play a few last songs before it gets boxed up to head to its new owner, who is actually an artist. So this is going to a good home where it will be appreciated for years to come. So, till next time, thank you for watching.